Jim Fuller, and I'm the General Director and Board Chair for Wesleyan Village. I'd like to take this opportunity to introduce the 5 candidates we have for this year's 2 board positions. The candidates are Doug Hoke, Martha Blackburn, Doug Preston, Kevin Green, and Jim Riley. I'd like to take a moment now to see something about each one of these candidates.
Hi, I'm Doug Hoke. I was born and raised in Fort Wayne, Indiana. I am been married for 41 years, a little over 41 years with Kelly. We moved down here 8 years ago, full time in the village, so we're year round. We have 3 children, and all adult children, obviously, but and 3 grandchildren. So what I've done in the past, I'm not quite retired yet. I make some trips back up to Fort Wayne, but I've been in the family insurance business. We have a family agency there in Fort Wayne, and that's all I've ever done. Work a lot with people, and that's I've been on the board already for a couple years here, and I just enjoy working with people in my business, but also here in the village, and that's kind of what I have to offer is just working with people so that we all live in a great and continue to live in a great village. Thank you.
My name is Martha Blackburn, and I was reared in the state of West Virginia. I was born into a home of 9 children. I'm the 8th. I have a brother a year younger than I. I learned a lot by growing up in a big family. You know, you learn to disagree, you learn to make up, you learn how to cheer for each other, you learn how to help each other, you learn how to rejoice when the others are successful, and you share life together. And I found it was a good foundation for the rest of my life. I am married. My husband Jim and I, we have a blended family of 4 children, 2 sons and 2 daughters. Both of us had fantastic marriages previous to both of our spouses passing away, and then God brought us together. We are so thankful for His work in our lives. They asked what I had done before I was retired, and I've been a school teacher. I've taught first grade. I've taught high school. I taught as an adjunct professor, juniors and seniors in college. During some of my training, we were taught how to go into industries and city governments or any type of business and evaluate it and make recommendations, but then we would release the report back to the organization that hired us as consultants. But you know, I realized that I wanted to be a part of the solutions. And I would say pretty much most of my life, I've been interested in working together with others so that we could make places and organizations and ministry better together. I care very much of what other people think. And I have found nobody has all of the answers. Nobody is talented enough to do everything. We need each other. And I am thankful for the privileges of having served on a local level as well as on a state level. For 18 years, I worked in women's ministry. I served on our state district board that was overseeing churches. I've also been a part of the denomination on its general board, and I have worked with Native Americans as well as many other organizations. Nobody is more important than another. We need you. And as we seek to see the village become all that God has in mind for it to be, I believe the best days of our village can be in the future. My husband and I bought a place here in the village in 2009, and as of 2012, we have loved being here and being a part of the organization. I've always counted it an honor when the Lord has placed me in places that I never dreamed that I would serve, and among those was on the board of Wesleyan Village. I am grateful for the opportunities that God has given me to serve Him in many places. I have also enjoyed my time to be on the board here at Wesleyan Village, and if that is open to me again, I will gladly serve.
Hello, I'm Doug Preston, and I was born and raised in Greensburg, Indiana. I am married to Sherry Preston. We have 2 daughters, Amber and Crystal, 5 grandkids, and 2 great-grandkids. They'd asked me to answer where I worked before I retired, but I am still actually employed as the district superintendent of Indiana South of the Wesleyan Church. And we had purchased a home in Wesleyan Village about 8 years ago. And our plans were that by this time in life, we would be snowbirds. But God had other things for us. And so we're still working, not full time, but we're working probably 3/4 of the time. They wanted me to let you know a job or a work experience that would qualify me for this board position. Well, first of all, let me say that I love Wesleyan Village, and I want to do whatever I can to contribute to the success of Wesleyan Village in the future. And this has kind of been on my heart for several years. Before I started pastoring, I was a business person. I worked in business management, went to IWU, Indiana Wesleyan, for associates of a business degree. I've been an ordained pastor in the Wesleyan Church for 20 years. I've ran my own trucking company, my own construction crew, been the DS now for 2 years. One of the things, though, that I think really qualifies me is that for the past 20 years, we have flipped houses, and my wife and I have done most of the work ourselves, buying and selling and refixing up. So kind of know the rental market, know the real estate market, know construction. We're looking forward to serving in this position if the Lord's will for us to be voted in. Thank you, and Lord bless.
Hello, I'm Kevin Green. I was originally born in Allentown, Pennsylvania, and spent half my life there, and ended up in Western Pennsylvania for the second half of my life. My wife, Mary Lee, and I live on Victory Drive, and we're married 31 years and have a 24-year-old daughter who is still in Erie, Pennsylvania, and we're very blessed to have her. My job before retirement was on December 31 of 2023 was the CEO of the City Rescue Mission Ministries in Newcastle, Pennsylvania. It's a ministry that served the homeless, hungry, hurting, and abused and addicted people coming in off the streets from a 4-county area in our hometown of Newcastle, Western Pennsylvania, an hour north of Pittsburgh. We moved to Wesleyan Village. We bought our home on Memorial Day of 2021 from our friends, church friends, Dave and Jane Campbell. And we're blessed to be here in this community. I've met many new friends and are participating in activities around the last 2 winters when I've been here full time. We love to be here as snowbirds. We've been spending 6 months in Florida and 6 months in Pennsylvania, and plan to do that for another year or 2. And just excited to come down each October and see who's here and the new faces come throughout the winter months. Although we've been here, I have been working remotely for the last 2 years, so I've always enjoyed administration and finance, and basically I've had 2 careers. My corporate career preceded my ministry career at the City Rescue Mission, but it was important to me to always remind folks about good aspects of Christian stewardship,
portray good leadership, planning, strategic planning for the future of our ministry, and working with the board in many different ways. I also served on many boards throughout my career, and that gave me an opportunity to end up as the treasurer of Citygate Network Board, which is the Association of Gospel Rescue Missions. That's 320 missions serving the United States that are involved in an association work, and was blessed to be on that board for the last 3 years of my tenure. We're grateful to everyone, and I'm honored to be nominated as a candidate. And so I would appreciate if anything I can do for the Wesleyan Village Board and all of you would be great.
Good morning. I'm Jim Riley. I was born in Stockbridge, Michigan on July 16, 1944. I lived in the Stockbridge area, graduated from Stockbridge High School, and at the age of 18, I joined the United States Army. I spent my 18th birthday at Fort Knox, Kentucky. While I was in the Army, I served with the 101st Airborne Division, and it was one of my proud moments. I was married in 1963 to the love of my life, Shirley. We had 2 children, 8 grandchildren, 7 surviving. We have 11 great-grandchildren. In 1966, I went to work for the local utility in Michigan and became a journeyman lineman, and that has been my trade. During that time, I was involved in union activities, eventually represented 3,600 people, and was on the National Executive Board when I retired. We moved to the Wesleyan Village in August of 2020. Shirley passed away in May of 2021. Prior to moving to the Wesleyan Village, we lived in Cloverleaf, and then we came over here to a Christian community, which I've enjoyed very much. When I think about being on the board, I believe the number one qualification that I have is on April 1st of 1984. I committed my life to Christ, and that has changed so many things for me and set me on the right path. The other thing that comes to mind is I can do all things through Christ, which strengthened me. And I found that in Philippians 4:13. I thank you for this opportunity, and if it's the Lord's will, I'll do the best I can on the board. Thank you.
Thank you, candidates. I appreciate you taking the time to let us get to know you a little better. Be sure and pay attention to the induction schedule this year. The election will take place on March the 5th, and we really want you to all come out and vote and support Wesleyan Village in the best way you can. Thank you.